All right, mates, welcome back to the channel. JL Scott Fishing and Eats. Hope everyone's doing well. November is here, close, and we are getting ready for another month. Make sure you get registered up for that KVF November Challenge Series monthly if you're going to fish in that for the month of November. The chew is still on. If you are in our region, obviously slowed down a little bit because of the weather, with the pattern sets, but still some people catching some big fish. Not as much quantity, but definitely quality fish, both in the river, in the impoundments and reservoirs, both tidal and up on the upper bay. Baitmaker Studio Series, here we go. Another Baitmaker. We've done Willamette Weapon Lures. You guys are following all those videos. Appreciate that, as well as following everybody on TikTok and Instagram for all these guys. Today's edition is CRANXPRO. Love my freaking CRANXPRO. Okay, Clay does great work. Check out his website. You can find that at cranksprofishing.com. You can also find him, I believe, on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so interesting story for this particular bait for me. This bait that I'm going to show you today, I'm going to go through his online shopping thing, kind of take up. But there are a couple baits in there that just scream to me for where we are in our region. Okay, there's a lot. I mean, Clay does a lot of baits. Okay, and depending on where you are in the country, I'm sure you can reach out to him and he can dial you in. Clay's based out of Tennessee, so I'm pretty sure he knows a lot of the Tennessee area, as well as, Southeast. In terms of pattern sets, I really like his bait fish. Micro Creek, Crank Spin are the ones that I really think are just phenomenal, like catch ready. Okay. Then he also has some jerks and all that stuff. We'll go over that in a second. But for me, I was interested in, when I got my first, when I first bait from Clay, it wasn't in what I would call, for me, a traditional pattern that I would throw. Like, for example, there's not a lot of crappie. I don't fish for, like that. And that there's not a lot of crappie forage in a lot of places that I fish, like in the upper Potomac. There's different areas near some tribs that come in that can have some crappie populations that would be forage fish for other species, right? So when I first got it, I was like, oh, all right. I mean, I love it, but where am I going to throw? Where can I throw this? Because I don't think it's going to work for me in the shallows of the upper Potomac. So I began to throw it at Little Seneca Lake in Western Virginia with success for largemouth bass, but I really had the most success with it in the upper bay out of Northeast at Anchors Marina, in the community park up there in Northeast Maryland, which is where the Northeast River comes down, and then below that you've got the flats, Susquehanna Flats, and then you've also got Susquehanna entering in the upper bay via the Susquehanna River, in that whole area. But mostly in and around the Anchors Marina, in that area where you can just fish just adjacent to and then around the community park, and then down the river, back up in that regard, and just staying within like a mile and working the docks and working back into different areas adjacent to that as the bay, the upper bay kind of wraps around, is where it's been the most effective. It's deeper water, and the largemouth bass there just find it to be, like a good meal, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. So you can find it, like I said, the CRANXPRO. We'll go on the online shopping. We're going to take a look at it. We'll go in the design studio, kind of basically shows his setup and stuff like that of what he's using to craft his baits. But his online shopping provides you just about everything you can think. But one thing I wanted to do was get a jump start on the holiday season for you guys. If you're looking for a crazy gift for an angler, or if you're an angler and you just slide this website to your wife or your girlfriend, in terms of a holiday gift, check out these bad boys. Okay, just an incredible design using the spooks. that reminisce a cigar with cigar labels. And it's a perfect display, perfect conversation piece, um, perfect everything, for that would be a holiday gift, in my opinion. There's a lot, we got all of us have all kinds of baits, all kinds of everything, right? But that'd be something for your desk at work or your office at home or even in your room, like, TV, man cave, whatever. It's just a conversation piece, mates. No, I mean, there's no other way to explain it. You can check out the different styles that he has. We're going to come down here and I'm going to show you. Obviously, you can check this site out yourself, but you can kind of see all the different color. He's just a great artist, mates. And these patterns are dialed right into that bait fish across the board. Whether you're talking shad, crawl, crappie, like the sunshine gill, that's going to be mine. Clay, just to give him a heads up. I mean, my order is going to be a lot of the sunshine, the honey, that kind of gill for the impoundments, for the most part. And then I'll do crawl, and some other variations for the river, for the tidal river, plus some shad and some blueback, for places like Lake Anna, Lake Murray, Lake Hartwick, or Hartwell. Did I say Hartwick? Hartwell. Sorry, jeez, early. Gorgeous gill. You can kind of see that gorgeous gill. Goby's another one. These bugs, check out if you're fishing like the Susquehanna or like the Allegheny, Susquehanna, stuff like that. Check out these bugs, man. These bugs to me, I think would be highly, highly effective. I mean, maybe you have to try that orangeback bug, as well as a Shenandoah. When those bugs fall off the trees and kind of like during that time of year, and just kind of sit on the water a little bit, you see the smallies just come up. When the smallies are active like that, whenever you get like cicadas and all that kind of happens, when that stuff kind of happens, I'm gonna check out. I'll probably maybe try that blueback bug, see what happens, for those shallow water largemouth. But I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna show you. First off, let's do the micro. Maybe I missed it. Oh no, here we go. Micro Creek cranks. Check these out. Talk about easy meal, mates. Easy meal. Okay. Big fish will absolutely destroy smaller baits, especially in river systems, because they're easy meals and they don't have to exert that much energy, right? So the Micro Creek, look at some of these patterns. No surprise that that's sold out, Clay. No surprise. That crappy pattern. You got chubs, perfect chubs, darters, perfect for river systems, right? There's your dart, okay? Perfect. Look at that. That right there, yellow belly chub, screams Susquehanna. Screams Susquehanna. Looks a lot like a shiner, okay? Looks a lot like a shiner. Blueback dart, Lake Anna, Lake Murray, Hartwell, screams it, okay? Anywhere there's blueback. And you're going to have your shads. You got your other shad patterns too. Rock bass, crappie bass, bully, sexy shad, of course. Sexy shad, Tennessee shad. Those patterns, Now I'm going to slide up and I'm going to show you guys what I've been throwing. And really, really think that this is something you need to add to your arsenal. And check out. And maybe you need something custom done, and I'm sure Clay'd be willing to paint you a custom if there's something specific that you want. Are these crank spins, okay? That look like this. All right? Look at that bait. Okay? Absolute dynamite. Deeper water cranking with the underspin. Totally different presentation, okay? Than what they're used to seeing from most people. Most people may be throwing the crankbait, okay? Absolutely, especially in the fall right now, in the Northeast, in the Upper Bay, tidal, okay? But it's not, this has a totally different action on it. Now, some people will swap these out, okay? They will put the treble here and they will put the spin on the back. That's another modification that you can make to these baits, okay, that changes the presentation. And that's sometimes that's all you need to do, okay, is a slight change. And then you start triggering bites, okay? So this is a crank spin. I love it. It's highly effective, especially for bigger bass, largemouth bass, especially both in impoundments and in deeper water lakes, or from Upper Bay and in tidal, where there's just deeper water, as opposed to, say, the Upper Potomac, or necessarily for me in the Susquehanna, where you're dealing with more rock and all that stuff in the shallower water. You want there to be obviously deeper. You can use the micro cranks in situations like that, but check this, just basic Shadowlicious. Look at that. Okay, Fire Tiger, Firecracker. A lot of people be throwing that probably in the early spring, with the crawl burst, Exotica. These are the 200s. I think he's got some other colorations though in these in the 150. So we'll check that out. Tennessee shad. There's your greenback herring. Okay, natural shad. So you got your shad, your crawl, your dart, your chub, all of those color patterns. Okay, available in different size baits, okay, that you can get from CRANXPRO, okay? And so this is just one of the ones that's just it's just different than what you're finding in the big box aisle, okay? You have to do all that and then modify all that, maybe get a VMC bladed treble to put on the back. You've got to go and spend, you got to add to what you've already bought off the aisle to make a modification. And this comes with the second treble, okay? So I can just put 2 trebles on if I want to go 2 trebles, okay? I can leave the underspin here. I could switch the underspin to the back. So that's 3 different presentations utilizing the same crankbait. And that's what you want. That's value, mates. That right there is value. Screams value proposition. Is to, you can easily modify. And then you've got this action going on. You got that big old ball in there. Rattle. And that's why they thump this thing. And I'm going to tell you what. They don't just swipe at this thing. They thump it. Okay? And crush it. All right? Because it's got action with the underspin, and it's got the rattle. Okay? A different knock with the rattle. So it's one of my favorite baits right now, throwing in the Upper Bay right now. You guys probably saw maybe my TikTok video of the crankbait crawl pattern, red, yellow, white, black crawl pattern. Okay, nailing 5 largemouth bass. Okay, that's more than the last 2 times I fished in the summertime, when most people fish the Upper Bay. Okay, in the fall, 5 largemouth bass. Okay, and that's what you're looking for. I mean, fall fishing is different, but again, fish different. Go fish those places that maybe you haven't had success at before in the past with new custom baits, and see what happens with different tweaks and modifications to it, and see if it changes the game up. Lost you there for a second. That didn't want to load that page up. I'm trying to see if the pro pappies are up here or not. There we go. Okay, so you got a couple other patterns there. Love the natural brim. I love the chub. I love the honeygill, shadowlicious. Those patterns are your go-to patterns, mates. Okay, for most of our fisheries in the Mid-Atlantic region, and they probably translate to wherever you are watching this video. Okay, crawls for your river systems, shad, brim, bluegill, crappie for your ponds, lakes, and impoundments. And then herring, blueback herring, and river herring, shad for some of your rivers, obviously, but a lot of your impoundments where your DWR has stocked those fisheries like Lake Anna with with certain bait fish species for their largemouth bass populations. But check it out, CRANXPRO, obviously, CRANXPRO Fishing on the website. just go through it. If you got any questions, you can reach out to Clay. You can find him on Instagram, shoot him a message. If you have any questions about any of these baits, let me know. Then come back to this video and in the comment section, let me know which ones. I don't know if there's still a special going on right now or not. That might have ended at the end of October. You'll be able to find that on Instagram. Or how long that runs. And let me know in the comment section which ones you got. And then if you're out there throwing them already or whatever, just come back and on the JL Sky Fishing and Eats Facebook page, just comment in one of the posts, which ones you got and, why you got the one you got as it pertains to your pond or your lake or what you're really, really thinking in terms of what pattern that you picked or had Clay paint for you. Because that helps everybody else. To give people a better understanding of, what's working for you in your lake or your pond or your impoundment may translate to other areas as well that have the same forage species, especially with these awesome modifications that you can make on these baits, mates. All right, so that's Baitmaker Studio, CRANXPRO Fishing. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, I believe, as well as their website. I will see you on the other side. All right, mates.